Julian's death in 363, Jovian succeeded him to the throne, but Jovian died on February 17, 364. The army chose to elect a Pannonian officer named Valentinian as Augustus. Valentinian I chose his younger brother Valens as his co-ruler. The two new Augusti divided the empire. Valentinian would rule the west and Valens ruled the east. Valens' power was challenged by Procopius, the cousin of Julian. Procopius bribed two legions and took control of Constantinople. Procopius was proclaimed Augustus. His control extended to Thrace. Valens defeated Procopius and he had him executed on May 27, 366. In April 375, Valentinian I led a campaign against the Quadi, the Germanic tribe which invaded Pannonia. Valentinian met the Quadi and envoys to negotiate for peace. The envoys insisted the conflict was caused by the construction of Roman forts. This enraged Valentinian that he suffered a burst blood vessel while angrily yelling at them, causing his death on November 17, 375. Valentinian I was succeeded by his 16-year-old son Gratian. Gratian chose to share his power with his stepmother Justina. He administered the Gallic part of the Western Empire, while his stepmother administered Italy, Illyrica, and Africa, but the actual authority still rested with Gratian. Meanwhile, the Eastern Empire was facing problems with the Visigoths, who were an East Germanic tribe. The Visigoths fled their lands after being invaded by the Huns. They seek refuge in the Roman Empire. Valens allowed the Visigoths to settle on the southern banks of the Danube in 376. The Visigoths were exploited and mistreated by the corrupt officials, which led to revolt against the empire. The Visigoths were led by Fritigern. Fritigern led victories against the Romans at the Battle of Macrianople. Valens personally led a campaign against Fritigern in 378. Valens and Fritigern's armies met at Adrianople. Reconnaissance informed Valens of the Gothic camp. Valens decided to charge at the Goths. The Romans pushed the Goths back, but the Goths returned and the Romans were routed. The Goths slaughtered the fleeing Roman soldiers. Emperor Valens was killed in the battle. The Battle of Adrianople had major consequences for the Romans. Veteran soldiers and administrators were killed in the battle. The Roman army faced problems of recruitment. The Eastern Empire was without a leader. Gratian appointed a man named Theodosius as the new Augustus of the Eastern Empire. Gratian governed the Western Empire successfully, but he became unpopular with the Senate and his troops. General Magnus Maximus, stationed in Britain, was proclaimed Augustus in 383. He led a revolt against Gratian. Maximus invaded Gaul, and Gratian fled from Paris to Lyon, where he was assassinated on August 25th. Maximus introduced state persecution on charges of heresy. Maximus had to deal with the senior Augustus, Valentinian II. The Alps would serve as the borders between the respective territories of the two rival Western emperors. Maximus entered negotiations with Valentinian II and Theodosius to gain their recognition. By 384, negotiations were not going well. Maximus tried to press the matter by settling the succession by proclaiming his infant son, Flavius Victor, as Augustus. By the end of the year, the empire had 5 emperors. Maximus and Victor received official recognition by Theodosius in 386, but Valentinian did not approve. Maximus decided to rid himself of Valentinian II. Maximus crossed the Alps into the valley of the Po River and threatened Milan. Valentinian and his mother fled to Thessaloniki. They sought the support of Theodosius. Theodosius campaigned west in 388 and defeated Maximus. Maximus was captured and executed in Aquileia on July 28th. Arbogastes was sent to Trier to kill Flavius Victor. Theodosius restored Valentinian to power. Valentinian was converted to Orthodox Christianity. He was supported and protected by Theodosius. Valentinian II was murdered by his protector Arbogast. Arbogast elevated Eugenius, a pagan official, to the position of Western Emperor. Civil war broke out between Theodosius and Eugenius over control of the West. Theodosius defeated Eugenius at the Battle of Fritigis. Theodosius was able to reunite the Roman Empire, but this unity was only brief as he died in 395. The empire was split between Theodosius' sons. Arcadius ruled in the east and Honorius would rule in the west. The Roman Empire will continue to be ruled by 2 emperors.